Axarra adjusted her goggles as the dirigible lifted off. The bustling marketplace of attaining shrank beneath her. She leaned against the railing, the wind whipping strands of dark hair loose from her braid. Glixa-Coipee awaited. The journey was long, but Axarra didn't mind. She'd spent most of her life traveling. The gentle sway of the airship, the hum of the engines. It all felt as familiar as her own heartbeat. She pulled out a worn leather-bound journal from her bag. Inside, sketches of ancient ruins and cryptic notes jostled with pressed wildflowers and whimsical doodles. She traced a line on her latest map, marking the route from attaining to Glixa-Coipee. Her fingers itched to explore. New sights, new smells, new stories waiting to be uncovered. But this trip wasn't about adventure, not entirely. This time, it was personal.
As the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the clouds in hues of orange and purple, a flicker of anxiety danced in Axarra's chest. She was about to meet family she'd never met before, family who might hold the key to a mystery that haunted her.
Axarra's parents were renowned archaeologists. Their work had taken them to every corner of the globe. From the pyramids of the Hami Waste to the Glixa Crags, Axarra had seen it all. She'd learned to decipher ancient languages before she could write her own name. Unearthing lost cities had been her playground. She remembered exploring crumbling temples with her father, sunlight filtering through the gaps in the stone. Her mother would teach her about the people who lived there, their customs and beliefs. Axarra soaked it all up, her thirst for knowledge as insatiable as her parents. Traveling with them had instilled in her a deep respect for different cultures. She spoke multiple languages fluently and could blend into almost any crowd. But more importantly, it had taught her the importance of family. Their little trio, bound together by a shared love for history and adventure. Now, only memories remained. A year ago, tragedy struck. Her parents had vanished during an expedition in the desolation of Zuhadna. The official report concluded it was a sandstorm, a tragic accident. But Axarra knew better. She found clues at their last dig site, things the authorities had missed. A strange symbol etched into the wall of a hidden tomb. Pages torn from her father's journal, mentioning a secret society and a dangerous artifact. Someone had murdered her parents, she was sure of it, and she wouldn't rest until she found out who and why. Her investigation led her to Glixa-Coipee, a vibrant, multicultural city nestled on the coast. Her only remaining family resided there, her mother's sister, Mrs. Chow, and her two cousins, Kiko and Akiko. The thought of her aunt brought a pang of sadness. They hadn't spoken much since Axarra's mother had left to pursue her own life of adventure. But now, Mrs. Chow was the only link to her past, her only hope of finding answers. I had only met Mrs. Chow once when I was very young, but I'd received letters and gifts from her over the years.
Mrs. Chow owned a successful tea house in the heart of Glixa-Coipee, a place known for its exotic blends and even more exotic clientele. Her cousins, Kiko and Akiko, were a mystery. Identical twins, a few years younger than Axarra, they were as different as night and day.
Kiko, the elder by a mere 10 minutes, was adventurous and outgoing. Her letters were filled with tales of daring escapades and mischievous pranks. Akiko, on the other hand, was quiet and introspective. She expressed herself through intricate origami creations, each fold a whisper of her thoughts and feelings.
Axarra treasured the delicate paper birds and flowers Akiko sent, each one a tiny piece of art. She hoped to get to know them both, to bridge the distance that separated them. Perhaps together they could uncover the truth behind their parents' deaths.
I envisioned our first meeting. I pictured Kiko bursting with energy, dragging me off on some crazy adventure before I even had a chance to unpack. Akiko, I imagined, would be more reserved, observing me with quiet curiosity.
Axarra wondered if they knew the truth about their own parents' fate. Had Mrs. Chow told them anything, or were they too kept in the dark? Axarra knew she had to tread carefully. She couldn't risk alerting whoever was behind her parents' deaths. She would have to earn their trust piece by piece, become a part of their lives before she could reveal her suspicions.
It wouldn't be easy, but I was determined. I had to be. For my parents, for myself.
As the dirigible prepared to land, Axarra took a deep breath. The air in Glixa-Coipee was thick with the scent of spices and salt air, a stark contrast to the dry desert air she was accustomed to. She clutched her bag, a mix of nerves and anticipation churning in her stomach. This city held so many unknowns, so many possibilities.
But one thing was certain. I wouldn't leave until I had my answers. This wasn't just a journey to meet my family, it was a quest for justice. A daughter's unwavering pursuit of the truth, no matter the cost.